And I got that name because that's my royal title.
Okay.
And I do accounting and, customer advocate now. Switch departments, I forgot. Customer advocate. I do style people, and I am doing some reality TV now.
Okay, awesome. So, could you tell me about the virus and your experience with it?
Well, the COVID-19, also known as coronavirus, I contracted it back beginning of March while I was on set filming for a show. And it's something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy because it's painful, it's deadly. A lot of people have not survived from it, but there have been hundreds of thousands of survivors, though, but they just don't advertise that. But it's painful. You're dehydrated. You have a fever. My fever was 103.9. You have chills. You can't breathe, like shortness of breath. It's just a lot of different things. Pneumonia. And from the pneumonia, it did damage to my lungs. And I'm still healing from that. But I cleared the virus. It's just I'm trying to recover from the damage that the pneumonia left.
About how many days did it take for you to recover?
It took well, I didn't go to the hospital until the end of the virus. I guess the last part that I couldn't fight off myself because I didn't know I had it at first. But that whole time I was sick, I was literally fighting off the virus at home. And I would say it probably was about 2.5 weeks.
So when you first felt sick, did you just think it was a regular cold or?
I just thought I just wasn't. You know how you had them days where you wake up, you're like, oh, I ain't feeling good today.
Right.
One of those. It wasn't like, oh, I got a fever, I got a flu, I got a cold, or nothing like that. It was just, oh, I ain't feeling good today. Let me lay back down or something. So that's what kind of feeling it was. But each day, it literally got worse.
Were you doing anything during those days, like taking any medicine or any tea or anything like that?
See, the good thing about me is I don't like taking medication, and I'm glad I did not because medication, if you use the wrong medication, it makes it worse. So if you use ibuprofen, Advil, aspirin, Motrin, any of that, it makes it worse. The virus attacks that even harder. So I really wasn't doing anything but drinking Gatorade, drinking water, and eating fruits because you lose your appetite. So that's how I lost 17 pounds from it. Thank you, Jesus. and like when you lose your appetite, you really don't. Like for 3 days, I think I was eating grapes. But I only ate like 5 grapes each day.
Oh, wow.
So you think about it, 5 grapes, that's not going to fill a kid up. But that's all I could eat. And then I was full. So it just, like I tell people, keep fresh fruits, keep a lot of water, and keep Gatorades for the electrolytes, but don't boost your immune system at all. You boost your immune system, the virus attacks. And it attacks harder.
So what was a typical day in the hospital? And how many days did you stay in the hospital?
A typical day in the hospital was like being in prison. You're in there by yourself. They come in, they're all covered up. They got their mask on. They got their suits on, their gloves on, with other layers of gloves. You can't see the doctor, the nurses, or the nurse tech's faces. It was just boring. You're sitting in there every 3 to 4 hours. They're coming to prick your finger for your blood sugar. They come to draw your blood. So my whole arm was bruised up from it. Everything. It's just very painful.
Did you, how many times did you get tested and what form did they use? I know it's like when they put in your nose, but did you use any other type of form?
Well, I got tested twice, and it was the nose one. Well, I got tested twice from the nose one. And then after they do the nose one, they draw your blood after you test positive. And that's how they can see how much of the virus is in you. Is from your blood, because it's like they show pictures of the cells that the virus has.
Right.
So after that, they test you more so by your blood count and seeing how much of the virus is showing up in your blood. So I was in the hospital for a total of 6 days.
Okay. So once it was closer for you to get like released, did you start feeling better, or were you still feeling kind of yuck, or how was that?
Well, closer to my release, dang, it sounded like I was in prison.
Right.
Closer to the release date.
Discharged. The day you got
Yeah,
discharged. Either
I don't
way,
even
yeah.
like that word. That word sound nasty. Closer to me leaving the hospital.
There we go.
I decided to take medication at that time. They asked, what was that? Oh, my client has a question.
Okay.
How long did it take? See, they tell people it takes 4 days for your test results to come back, but that is not true. They can test you and they can have your test results back in some hours.
Wow.
Actually, when they do that nose one, they can have your results back in hours, not days. But I think they were telling people days to send them back home and have them already pre-start the quarantine. They send you home telling you don't be around people, keep yourself isolated. So I think that's where that comes into play. But toward the end of me getting ready to leave the hospital, I decided to take this medication. Now, I might pronounce it wrong, but I'm going to pronounce it the best I can. It's either hydroxychloroquine or hydrochloroquine. It's one of them. But that medication, the first day they gave it to me, they had to double the dosage. Because when they double the dosage, basically, it's like it's sneak attacking the virus or the rest of the virus that's in there. And then after that, they give you just the normal dose. So that fought off the rest of my virus. Like, when they did that, the next day I was off the breathing tube and everything. They took the oxygen out of my nose, and I was able to breathe on my own. I was able to do everything on my own, basically.
Okay.
So they gave me another dose and told me to go home and isolate myself away from everybody for a week. And they gave me my clearance papers because I told them I was not going to quarantine in Georgia. I was going to quarantine somewhere else where they told me, well, the virus isn't in your body. So in order to fly, you got to stay covered all the way up. And they have to fax something over to an airline for me to fly.
Were you nervous about flying at all?
Well, they kind of pre-warned me about what can happen. As far as the damage that the pneumonia did to my lungs. They said if I get too high in the air, it'll feel like, butterflies in your stomach. You'll feel them more so in your lungs.
Oh, wow.
So when we got to a certain elevation, I woke up and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, I'm thinking something is seriously wrong with me, and I had to remember to calm myself down because the doctors already warned me that this can happen. But to just, breathe in and out, inhale, exhale, and you'll be good.
Do you have any other, like, underlying health conditions or anything?
No, besides looking good.
All right. Is it anything else that you wanted to add?
I would tell people to make sure that to stay safe during this time. Make sure that they do quarantine themselves. Make sure they do, limit their social interaction. It's okay to go around your family. That's what I would say. If you're not around family, you really don't need to be around really no one else. Unless you have to go to the store or, basically go do the thing to take care of business. Because no one can tell you what's essential to you. We might think a person going to the store to buy some makeup or some skin cream is not essential to us, thinking that they're wasting their time, not knowing that they need this skin cream because they have a skin disease or something. So I would say people need to take it more serious, stop making so much jokes about it, and just protect themselves. Be careful with the amount of hand sanitizer they use. Hand sanitizer does dry out your hands and makes your hands peel. So wash your hands more than you sanitize it. Sanitize it on the go. Wash it if you at home, you can wash your hands.
Yeah, definitely.
And the mask, when you're wearing your mask, make sure that you're wearing them the proper way. When you put that mask on, you're supposed to. Well, this is my Chanel mask, but this isn't the medical grade mask.
Right.
But this so basically, when you put the mask on, it'll go like that. You'll pinch this part around your nose.
Okay.
Pinch that part because the metal will stick to it, and then you pull the other part down under your chin, and that's the proper way to put on your mask because you're basically blocking everything from entering.
Right.
That, and when you breathe in, like you can still breathe, but when you exhale out, it's going under and out. It's not, going up. If it goes up, you have too much air in there. You're not protecting yourself from anything.
Right.
So if the proper wear of a mask is important. And I tell people, if you do not have the virus, you don't have to wear the mask. I would recommend you wearing something similar to this that's not a medical one, but it's just, you're just protecting yourself.
Right.
Yeah, you're just covering yourself up. I would prefer you wear that than the medical one because the medical one, you don't get enough oxygen in when you have that one on. So
I didn't know
if
that.
you don't have the virus, you don't need to be wearing that because you're really cutting yourself of oxygen, which is doing damage to yourself.
Right.
And some people I've seen wear them in and out the house, to the store, to the back to the bed, everything like, oh, so you trying to kill yourself.
Yeah.
So I would just say for people to really take it serious, really be safe out here, and when these cities and states start like enforcing curfews and quarantine times, really take that serious and really stay indoors. Because certain cities are starting to go around during quarantine time, like after curfew, they're going around trying to spray the city to kill the virus off, to make sure it's not around. But if people are out, they can't do that. So really stay indoors, do what you're supposed to do, and that's all.
Cool. Let my people know where they can find you at on social media.
On Instagram, I am the Puerto Rican Prince. That is ThePuertoricanPrince. Or you can just put hashtag Chris Brown's twin, and I should pop up. On Twitter, I'm SINSAYTION, and that's the same on Snapchat.
All right. Well, thank you for giving us some more information. I'm glad you're well. I was definitely praying for you, and I hope you have a good night, cousin.
Yes, thank you, Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, Summer.
Bye.